I think for a lot of us, especially if you're here on this channel, we either grew up watching Dennis the Menace or, like me, watched the reruns on afternoon TV back in the 1970s. Dennis was a mischievous, blonde haired troublemaker, an adorable little boy who was always getting into something. Jay North was just 8 years old when he brought Hank Ketchum's cartoon character, Dennis Mitchell, to life, bursting into living rooms on those old black and white TVs with a kind of entertainment the whole family could enjoy together. The show was a hit, airing on CBS for 4 seasons from 1959 to 1963. But as we know, fame at a young age isn't always easy. Jay's home life was turbulent. His parents' marriage fell apart, and his dad left the family when Jay was only 4 years old. And since Jay's mother worked, she couldn't accompany him to the set. His aunt took over as his on-set guardian, and it does not sound like she was a very kind or very patient woman. In fact, both his aunt and uncle were known to be strict, even harsh at times. Jay later spoke about how the constant pressure to perform and behave perfectly affected him. He wasn't allowed to hang out with the other cast members. Sadly, he said, most days he ate lunch alone in his dressing room. And after Dennis the Menace ended, roles were hard to come by. Hollywood has a way of typecasting child actors, and Jay found himself stuck as Dennis. His early adulthood was a struggle. He tried to get back into acting, he attempted to build a normal life, and he even joined the Navy for a time. But the emotional toll from his childhood fame stayed with him. But the good news was that Jay did have people who cared about him. Paul Peterson, who played Jeff Stone on The Donna Reed Show, and Jeannie Russell, who played Margaret Wade alongside Jay on Dennis the Menace, they both reached out. They were worried about him, and they helped him connect with a therapist who specialized in counseling former child actors. Later on, Jay joined Paul Peterson's organization, A Minor Consideration, where he used his own experiences to support other child stars who were going through the same kinds of struggles he had faced growing up. And Jay eventually left Hollywood. He got married in 1993 and moved to Lake Butler, Florida, where he worked as a correctional officer far away from the spotlight. Dennis the Menace wasn't Jay's only acting role. If you check out his IMDb page, he racked up 35 acting credits over the years, but none of them reached the same level of fame as Dennis the Menace. He starred in all 146 episodes during the show's run, which is pretty incredible. And I have always felt a connection to the Dennis character because I was the youngest of 6 kids. And if you're the youngest in the family, you'll probably get this. My older siblings were always daring me to do something. Nothing dangerous, but if someone was going to sneak the cookies out of the kitchen cupboard, I was going to be the one sent on the mission. And luckily, my parents knew exactly what was going on, so I never really got into trouble. But my dad would always look at me and shake his head and say, "We should have named you Dennis."
From now on, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna stop making dynamite, and I'm gonna start closing doors and all that kind of stuff.
Jay passed away on April 6, 2025, at the age of 73 of colorectal cancer, a disease that he had been battling for several years. So rest easy, Jay North, and thank you for all the memories.